It's Munich, 1848, and a group of men are sat in a Bavarian pub, drinking a pint, having a meeting. And when the meeting was finished, a new fitness and gymnastics club was formed. Due to its so-called Republican activities, the club was banned by the monarchy. But only 12 years later, the club was formally re-established in 1860 after a merger with several other clubs. And in 1899, a football department was created, playing its first games against other teams 3 years later. And in 1919, the club adopted its famous lion crest and was renamed TSV München 1860. In 1863, they gained access to the new Bundesliga, stopping their future rival gaining entry due to the league not wanting two teams from the same city in the brand new Bundesliga. And 3 years later, in 1966, they captured their first and only Bundesliga title. Over the next several decades, the club faced many ups and downs, resulting in it almost facing insolvency for the second time. Needing €8 million to survive, the club was finally saved by Jordanian investor Hassan Abdullah Ismek, who purchased 60% of the team's operating company for €18 million. He would be left frustrated though, as he would still only have 49% of the voting rights due to Germany's 50+1 rule, keeping the majority of power in the hands of the fans. At the end of the 2016-17 season, the club lost its relegation playoff, resulting in it being relegated to the third division. Managing director Ian Eyre and the club president Peter Casaletti resigned, and after 13 managers in 8 years, and many battles with the fans, and many broken promises, Hassan Abdullah refused to pay the necessary fees for 1860 to gain its Division 3 licence, resulting in this once great club being relegated to Germany's 4th tier. And after one season, the club bounced back into the 3rd tier of German football. But again, Hassan Abdullah refused to pay the fees to gain a licence. He told the world's media he would sell his share for peanuts as long as he could end his nightmare in Munich. And enough was enough with the German taxman and football authorities. And with 1860 facing bankruptcy and with no end to their troubles in sight, a deadline to insolvency was set. Fan groups scrambled and campaigned to save the club, but the amount of debt that needed paying off to satisfy the authorities was just too much for the desperate 1860 fans to raise. And on the 1st of June 2019, TSV 1860 Munich was no more. This once great club and founding member of the Bundesliga was dead, leaving thousands of fans all over Munich and the world devastated. But there was still hope that something could be saved. One man had a dream, an idea, a vision to save his team. Hans Gruber was a local businessman and a die-hard 1860 fan. The millionaire had a lot of money, he just didn't have enough money to pay off all of 1860's debt. So he organised a meeting with the German Football Association in the hope of coming up with some way of saving the club. The German authorities had decided that 1860 Munich was over and the club could no longer play or trade under that name going forward. But if Hans Gruber could raise the league entry fee and prove he had enough finances to support the club for at least the next 4 seasons, the club could keep its league place for the 2019-2020 season, as long as it reformed under a new name and company. The only trouble was Hans didn't have enough money. What he did have was connections and around 25,000 club members to help him. He asked each one to donate €200, raising over 5 million, and with extra investment including 2 million of his own money, not only could the club reform and pay its league entry fee, it could guarantee its future for the next 4 years and even buy its stadium back. Next on the agenda was the formation of the new club. An emergency board was formed of ex-players and representatives of all the different members groups, even his own girlfriend, supermodel Julia Steiger. It would be decided that the 50+1 rule would be abolished in favour of 100% fan ownership. Each member would own 1 share each and everything would be voted for fairly. A club for the working class fans of Munich and a club that would always be fan owned. After days and days of meetings, a new name could not be agreed upon. Most of the ideas were just different variations of the old 1860 name, old colours, old logo. Hans, on the other hand, felt differently about how the club should look going forward. After another failed rebranding meeting, Hans took his girlfriend Julia to a cafe across the street to clear his mind and think about what he wanted to do. As he sat down to drink his coffee, he noticed a copy of the Bayern Munich Fan Magazine 51, and he was immediately angered by what he saw on the front cover. His anger got worse when he opened the magazine to find an article mocking the demise of his beloved club. This only fueled his fire more and made him realise he had to change the club's image. This was a chance for a new look, a new club, a new vision. The next day, Han organised a meeting with renowned Munich designer Ralph Wiederheim, and after listening to Han's idea, it didn't take long for Ralph to come up with a new vision. All Hans had to do now was take Ralph's design to the board and the fans and win the vote. A vote that was going to be hugely controversial. Hans, with sweat on his forehead and his heart pounding, sat down in that boardroom with Ralph, ready to give his presentation for the new vision of this new club. Members of the board, Hans said, I have come to realise that in the eyes of not only our rivals, but the world, we represent failure. Our crest, our colours, our name mean nothing to anyone but us. Out of the ashes of 1860, we have somehow managed to save a little piece of hope. Now, my friends, we have a chance to make something new. A new image, a new way of thinking. What we are about to propose to you could be seen as radical, maybe even crazy, but I truly believe it's the future of our club. I want to throw away any real ties of the past and create an image that strikes fear into all our opponents. 18 Munich is dead. Long live the München club. Gasps and cheers filled the boardroom. You could sense a split as they gazed upon the new club crest. Hans carried on. This new name is simple. We will become the Club of Munich, a club for the hard-working fans of the city, a club to be proud of again. The skull represents us being reborn, not dying like the Bayern fans would like to think, but rising up, striking fear into our opponents. The cutlasses represent our new, cutthroat, take no prisoner attitude, and as a slight nod to our past, we've decided to keep the lion emblem on the skull's head and our famous nickname, but we need to start afresh. Our home kit will become black, our away kit green, and to remind everyone of our true history in a small way, our third kit will be our old colours. München Club is the future, and with our new name and image, I believe we can lay to rest the ghosts of the past and rise up into the Bundesliga. So I put this vote to you. Every shareholder will have their say. I hope you all can see the benefit of what this new club could bring to all of us. And with that, the shareholders voted, and within the next 2 days they had their result. 52% voted in favour of the new logo and club name, 48% against. It was a close call. But unlike the British, who had struggled to accept their democratic Brexit vote, this vote would be honoured immediately. München Club was officially born and entered into the third division for the 2019-2020 season. Hans Gruber would become the very first president of this brand new club. Nobody would ever own the club outright, it would be forever in the fans' hands. Could the München Club turn a corner and put the past behind them? It was going to be a long, tough road back to the top. Surely the darkest days were behind them. All they needed now was a manager, somebody who could work a miracle and start a rebuilding process, somebody awesome enough to hopefully take them to the Bundesliga and beyond. But who would that be? Well, of course, it's going to be me, Bood. Thank you for checking out this brand new series on my channel. I really do appreciate it. If you're brand new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, come and join the family, go and check out all the other content, and stick around for my new content because I've got loads coming eventually. I've just been really busy with life. Life's hard sometimes. But yeah, thank you for taking time out of your busy day, all of you, to sit here and watch this. Hopefully, you're going to enjoy it enough to stick with it and support it by smashing a like button. You can support the channel a little bit more by pledging to my Patreon. You'll find a link to that down below. Now you've seen the story, you know all about it. We're here with the München Club. Hopefully, I haven't pissed off any 1860 fans. I'm sure there won't be many who watch me. If you are, I'm sorry. But I like a story. I like a bit of fantasy with Football Manager. So that's what we're going to do. Now, if you're a fan of my rebuild series, that's going to continue. I've got a Journeyman series coming out soon. This is similar. This is going to be like the rebuild. But with the rebuild, I do a season and then I talk you through that season. And I have to cram it all into 20 odd minutes. With the München Club, I'm going to maybe do 2 episodes a season. Sometimes 3, depending on what's going on. So I can break things down maybe more, show you things in more detail, and maybe show you how I go about things like scouting and looking for staff. All the things I can't really show you in a rebuild episode. So yeah, I can't wait. It should be a bit of fun. It's not going to last that long. The target really is to get them to the Bundesliga and maybe beat Bayern in a game one day. That's pretty much it. We'll see how the series goes. We'll go with the flow. But honestly, thank you for joining me. You're an absolute legend. I think that's enough talking. Let's get straight into it. We're going to start live here on the club information page. It's the main page. As you can see, we're a new club. 1860, I know more. We haven't took on their history. That's all gone into history. Basically, all we've got is the staff and the players and the stadium. That's it. That's all we've got. We've had to clean that slate. We've rebranded, and we're going out there again to try and earn the respect of not only Germany, but the world. So as you can see, the new kits, I quite like them. Pretty simple. The old home colours is now the third team. The old third colours is now the away kit. And I think the away kit was dark with blue trim. We've just gone black and white. Nice and cool. So I like the look. I like the logo. I want to say a big thank you. The guy in the story who plays the German, Ralph Wiedenheim, he's actually Ryan Woodward, a friend of mine and subscriber. He designed the logo, so thank you very much to him. Let's have a look at a few more details. This is the general page, and I've kept some things like the derby. It's called the München derby. It's the derby versus the old derby versus 1860 and Bayern. Obviously, we've replaced 1860 because they don't exist. We've also kept the nickname of the club. I want to keep something, but as you can see, no more 1860. We were founded in 2019, and yeah, ticket prices are quite low. All the money, I've not really changed the money either. I've not changed the sponsorship or nothing. That's all the same as what 1860 had in the third division. Now then, the facilities. Now in the story, they generate some money. So what I've done is to at least alleviate some pressure. Is we bought the stadium. Now the stadium has a huge name. And if you know me, I can't pronounce things. Even though I'm part German, I'm a bit rubbish. So a lot of people just call it the Grunwalder Stadion. So I've shortened it to that. Easy. It's only 15,000 and it only has 6,000 seats. It's awesome. When I've been playing the games in 3D, I love the fact that it's standing. I love that. Now the only thing I have changed, the only thing I've touched, is I've made that stadium capacity be able to go up to about 40,000. So I like the idea of staying in this stadium because it's historic to Munich. It's historic to 1860, it was. So it's historic to all the fans of the new München club. I mean, Bayern Munich used to share it with them at one point. It's a proper little ground with loads of character, and I want to build on that. When it comes to the facilities, they're all okay. I mean, better than most teams in this division. We've got a slight advantage there. So that's going to be the focus over the next few years, is build the facilities, build the staff, and hopefully make some of my own players. I really want to get stuck into that because I've not done that on the rebuild so far on FM20. I've just been concentrating on the first teams. I really want to concentrate on the youth team this time. Now we have no affiliates. This has been cleaned out. I want to build this myself. Obviously we're not going to be able to do anything fancy straight away because of the level we're at. So getting a money affiliate isn't going to happen for us just yet. But hopefully we can just build on this, get some local teams, some local knowledge, and then build up to some money affiliates and so on. And this is our history page. We might be the new 1860, but we've lost the history. That's been confined to history basically with 1860. So you may or may not know, but when the Bundesliga was founded, 1860 won it first before Bayern. They were a bigger team than Bayern. Bayern just came out of nowhere and have overtook them, obviously. But you'll see that now. Anything on the history lists that's got 1860, you can't even click on them anymore. They no longer exist. I just thought it was best to clean the slate. Let them stay. I didn't want to take over them and become the new 1860 and use the club. I wanted the club to still have its old history. Do you know what I mean? And build a new one. Now these are the staff. They just transferred over from the old club to a new club. Apart from the board, obviously the old board's gone. We've got the new board with the new president, Hans Gruber, who will be in charge for at least 4 years. Now the club will always be fan owned. So every 4 years, depending on how long I play it, the chairman will be up for renewal. So he'll have to go up against someone. I don't know if I'll go up against some of the other directors. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe his missus, Julia Steger. Maybe she'll get it one day. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So yeah, the staff. It's a big thing, the staff, especially when you haven't got any real money to spend. And, you know, it's an advantage. I like to build my own staff. So apart from the board, obviously, who I can't get rid of, I got rid of everyone. Which you might think's mental when you initially look at it. Scouting and the medical department, shit. But my coaching team's the best in the division. But I don't just look at that. I'm not one of them who'll look at that and go, oh, I'm sorted there. Forget that, let's move on. I'll still go out there and look for available staff, right? And think, well, he's better than who I've got. He's better than who I've got. So I could still have the best staff, but might as well have the best staff. Now, with all the investment firm hands, and the fans are raising the money. Not only did they buy the stadium and pay the entry fee into the league, they didn't have to clear any debts because they got wiped, remember. That's why 1860 don't exist anymore. Debt's been written off. This is a new business, a new company, a new club. So they've got 5 million in the bank, nearly 6. But I've got nothing to spend and no wiggle room in the wages. Now the club vision as well is pretty simple. There's no real long-term dreams apart from just getting out of this league by the playoffs. Nothing major, no real pressure initially, and that pressure is going to come from me. The main thing is obviously work within the budget, but develop our own players. That's what I really want to do. I want to see who we've got in the youth team. I want to have good youth intakes, hopefully, and build on that. Now this is my squad. It's arranged by ability, and they're not bad. I'm lacking a lot of things I'd like, even at this level. Especially my striker. I've got one half decent striker and he's old. I wasn't going to be able to do much with it. I've got a few injuries to good players here that are big injuries. I think he was my captain, or he becomes my captain. 5 months he's out. This guy's out for 6 months. Uyghur, 3 months. So a lot of my good players, as you can see, 3 of them out for at least half a season or more. And the tactic will of course be my favourite go-to tactic. It's something I think is great. It punches on through. It never really lets me down when I stick with it. Sometimes it'll have a dip, but it always comes back fighting. And I tried some other ones on my rebuilds and I always end up going back to this. So I just need to, knowing I've got to work with what I've got to work with, and I can't really change what I've got player-wise. Obviously can build the staff up, hopefully get the training maxed out. But it's the tactic. Hopefully this thing will carry us through. When it comes to the youth team, this is it. Now we haven't got a second team. Now apparently, if I get promoted, the game will give me an option to build a München Club 2. Now I didn't do that in the editor. I just thought for now, let's just forget that. It's extra finances. Need more players, more staff. So I kept it simple. We've got the first team, the under-19s. And then when it comes to that, if I get a decision to make a München Club 2, we'll think about it then. We'll see what's what. But for now, I've just got under-19s. And I have got some promise here. I mean, you don't need to look at them all. I'll show you them later. But we have got some promise. So if we can keep these guys, and hopefully add to it with the youth intake, this could be the generation that starts to come through if I give them a chance. And honestly, I don't know why, but it's proper exciting me. It's called the 3-Liga. Is that what you call it? If you're German, let me know. The 3-Liga. I was going to call it the 3rd division. It's easy for me. But yeah, the book is, I think we'll be 7th. Which is, yeah, fair enough. Surely we can do better than that. But there's some great teams in this league. We've got Kaiserslautern, Rostock, the last ever East German champions. Great team. You've got Bayern 2. So they're going to be packed with talent, aren't they? So yeah, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be fun. I've signed 2 players on loan. The first one is Tashan. Oh, is it Tashan? Oaklet Booth. He's 19 years old. We've got him from Spurs. Now, he's pretty decent, but it's his wages that were quite low. Only £6 a week. And I needed a midfielder. Now, the other player I brought in, and the only other player I could bring in, was this chap. And I only got him for a couple of reasons. He can cover all of defence, so he'll be a great backup. You know, he's 19, he's got a bit of promise. He should be good at this level. But it's going to cost me £500 a week. The other guy cost me 6, and that's me wiped out. I can't do a thing, and I'll be honest with you, there's so many good free signings out there. Even if I didn't sign these 2 loans, I couldn't afford the wages. Over to the staff, and of course, I've improved it. We've improved it. I can rebuild the coaching team. We've got the best scouting now. We've got the best medical. And I've actually expanded it, and throughout the season I will expand it more. The chairman, even though we've got money in the bank, does not want to put anything into infrastructure. Won't improve the training or anything, but he will let me expand the coaching. Now you can see me at the top. I'm not a bad manager. I'm not maxed out. When it comes to coaching, I'm not great, but my mentals are pretty good. A good man management. I work good with youngsters. That's what I want, because I want to build the youth. So I want to be good at that. I've got a new assistant. If you watch my rebuilds, well chuffed I could get Phil. I love Philip Lau. He's not an assistant, he's a coach. But he's my go-to man. Jose takes his assistant. All these managers, they take their assistants with them. I take Phil with me, so I signed Phil, which is awesome. But yeah, you can see we've got a new head of youth, Helmut Raymer, who's the best I could get. But look, great working with youngsters. Judging ability is pretty decent for a level of that. I managed to get us 2 goalkeeping coaches, which are pretty good. You can see there. 2 fitnesses. One's an 18, one's a 19 at fitness. One's even good working with youth players. And then we've brought in 3 coaches. David Platt was one of them. He was an all-rounder, really. And I've got 2 other guys. So that's the start of it. And it's the best in the league. Hopefully it'll help the players develop and give us an advantage. Now, when it comes to me scouting, my chief scout is sending his team out, but I'm also sending him and his team out as well. Looking for young German players who are interested in signing. And the list is huge, but these are the ones that are interested. For now, that might change, but it's just good to have them scouted. Have that knowledge on them, because if I do get promoted, they might become available on my shortlist. But there's still some good promise there. I mean, look at all the potential there. Rostock, all them teams are in my division. Dynamo Dresden are a league above us, but it's just good to have the knowledge. Even though I can't sign anyone, if I ever come to being able to sign anyone, I can just go to my list. Now, I am going to show you my team, my best 11 anyway, or a rough idea of my best 11. But I've played some games, and this is the point where we're going to be ending it. As in, we're not going to go any further at this point in this episode. On top of the league, after 8 games, undefeated, drawn 3, won 5. That looks amazing, doesn't it? But I've got some serious issues, I can't lie. We create quite a lot of chances. I can't put the ball in the back of the net. I am lacking with goal scorers. But what I'm not lacking with is a good defence. And they're not even they're not world class. They just seem to have instantly locked in as a unit, which is fantastic. Also, I think the VOLCANO is pretty sound defensively, if I'm honest. We just need a bit more oomph going forward, but I can't get any. I've just got to work with what I've got. So we won the first game 1-0, which is great. We drew with Kaiserslautern, which got on TV, because we're both biggish teams. And I drew the next 2, 0-0, scraped to 1-0 against Mannheim. The Jena game, at the time, they were well above us. And from memory, they took the... Did they take the lead? I think they did, yeah. It was a great game, to be fair. It was a great win for us away from home. And we won the next one, and we beat Rostock, who were class, I think, 3-0. So you can see, apart from that one game, the battle, we've had a clean sheet in every single game. So as long as we can stay defensively sound and hopefully start to score goals, there's no reason why we can't get out of this division at the first attempt. This is me first team. And goalkeeper-wise, we're not that bad. We've got Hendrik Bonnen, who is 25 years old, and I think at this level should be okay. His handling, it's not great, I know. But you remember what level we're at. Now we've got this guy. I think he was going to be my backup at one point, and then Marco Hiller. It's like, what do we do here? So because Marco Hiller on paper, style-wise, looks better, doesn't he? But when I looked at him, they look the same. My best right back apparently is Herbert Paul, who again, he's a good tackler. I'll take that. He's 25, which ain't bad either. It's quite a good age. But we've also got Eric Wieger, who's not as good as him. And we've also got another one at the minute, Aaron Berzel, who again isn't as good. Over to left backs, and we've got Philip Steinhardt. I love that name, Steinhardt. Love it. My backup, he isn't great. I'd like to promote him. He's Russian. He hasn't even got a face. Now, centre halves, I don't think they're that great. So that's why I'm so surprised by how well we've started defensively, but maybe it is just a tactic. So if you have a look at the first one, Felix Weber, who, great. I mean, he's probably my best. Pretty good, isn't he? I think for this level. Then we've got the 3 there at the bottom. This is what I mean. Don't get it. Don't get it. We've got Samir Grakic, 18-year-old German. Oliver Stefanovic, 21-year-old German, bit poop. And Marco Raimondo Mertzig. What a name! It's the best name ever, Marco. Marco Raimondo Mertziger. Gega. He's a legend already. Obviously, don't forget I've got him. He's just not showing up because he's on international duty. And I've got unavailable players hidden. It does me head in. Got too many injuries, man. Now over to my central midfielders. And obviously I play a lot of defensive midfielders in the VOLCANO. And you'll see a lot of MCs. But they can all play. They can all cover. Now I've got quite a few because I've got quite a few shit ones. So a lot of the cases with this is a shit one and a shit one. Battling out to see who is the best of the shittest. If you get what I mean. But yeah, like my best one. Still got a bit of an injury, he's not that great. He isn't great. I like this guy. He's not a bad player for me. 23-year-old Efkan something. I bet he's part Turkish, isn't he? Or something like that. Dennis Erdmann, he's pretty decent. He works hard for your team. I like someone who works hard. Next one. Gebert. 30-year-old. Okay, we've got the guy kid in from on loan from Spurs. Dennis Dressel. So again, see what I mean? Nothing's screaming out we're awesome. We've got a lot to do. We have to get to the Bundesliga. Jesus. It's going to be hard, isn't it? Especially starting where we're starting. And then obviously I've got these guys at the bottom who are just a bit crap and battling out to be king of crap. On to my players who can play on the left wing, and we've only actually got one natural. The others can cover, and he got promoted. Now, when you look at Fabian Grealinger, he's got pace, but he's got promise, and he's a decent player, to be fair. I like him. I like a bit of Fabian. Stefan Lex, again, decent right winger, although he can cover, he's pretty good, he's a starter. And we've also got Benjamin Kindvater. So German. Pretty wank. He is, to be fair, sorry mate. And Marius Wilch, who again's alright-ish. I'm switching to the right wing just to show you. That's all I've got. I'm lacking depth with my wingers. We're hopefully going to be okay. We're also lacking with striker quality. Really? I mean, it's probably why you can see already we're not scoring tons of goals. But yeah, Mulders is currently the best player, 34-year-old. He's been here for years, or he's been at the old club for years. And he's got great mentals, so he's great to have around. He's slow as frig. And he looks like my mate Lee Monaghan. Marcus Zirius, 27-year-old German again. Yeah. And then we've got Cottrell. Isaac Wen? My God. Again, pretty crap. So he's Nigerian, 20-year-old. So that's it. That's the team. That's what I'm working with. It's all about the league. We don't have a cup competition at this level, which I find very strange. What's going on, Germany? Why is it not like a lower level cup? So that's it. That's good in a way. I've just got to get through the season, battle our way through it, hopefully, and get out of this freaking league. Now, before we finish, I just want to say to anyone who's a fan of my FM18 series with Manchester Central, I've made them. They're in this database. I will be making this save file available. You should find it below in the description if you want to play with München or Central. We've got the famous stadium that we built on that save, and if you may or may not know, but my patrons, as a thank you for them being patrons, I split them in half randomly, and we built 2 teams out of it. So you've got an initial team of my patrons on your squad, which could be fun. You're in the Vanarama National League North, and yeah, I mean, I love a bit of Manchester Central. You'll also find the graphics, actually. The graphics pack will be down below to download as well. So yeah, this is going to be like my story, my Bootyverse last year, where I built stories upon stories. I'm doing the same this year. There's a new Bootyverse starting at the end of this week, and I'm going to be using the same database and just building on it and creating a whole universe. So yeah, if you want to try Central out, please let me know how it goes. But we've not only got Manchester Central, we've got the mighty Denton Villa, the Jolly Hatters. Of course we are, back at our spiritual home, Shirley Hill. And they're pretty equal to Central, really. They're both 2 teams in Vanarama North, and you've got some regen players a computer gives you, and you've got about 13 of my patrons. So yeah, same thing with Central. If you want to have a go, feel free. You'll find the graphics down below. You'll find the save file down below. And if you do have a go with Villa, Central, or even follow my story with München, let me know how it goes. Honestly, I'd love to know how well you're doing. So that's it. That is the end of episode 1. Hopefully you enjoyed it enough to smash the like button and even subscribe if you're brand new. And stick around and come back for the next episode. We're going to jump back in maybe at the halfway point, maybe even later. I don't know. I'm going to see how I feel and have a look how I'm doing in this first season with München. But it is a lot of fun to play. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. Also, don't forget, if you still don't own the game, I will be running a Christmas competition very soon. I'm going to be giving away 2 copies of Football Manager 2020, and I'll make a video on that very soon. So just keep your eyes out on the channel, and yeah, you'll find out how to enter that. But thanks, honestly, thank you for taking time out of your day. I know you're all busy people, so for you to sit here with me and watch my Football Manager story, honestly, it's massively appreciated. I've had some great support this year. I can't wait to crack on, not just with this series, but with Journeyman, my story experiments, and some more rebuilds. So yeah, I'm excited for the future, and thank you. Stay safe. If you want to talk to me, feel free. Honestly, I'll chat to all of you. Be happy. Stay happy. I'm Bood. See you next time.